Alright, hi, this video is going to be about different hiring and submission models in screenwriting with a subcategory in animation. You know, that's just not the introduction this project needs. Hold on one moment, please. Oh yeah, this is way better. Remember Halo? Good old days. So traditionally, if you aim to work as a screenwriter, you either had to find an agent and get your script optioned, work in a writer's room for a TV show, or have just phenomenal networking skills. Now, networking still applies, maybe now more than ever, but over the past Netflix years, streaming services have acquired mass popularity and usage compared to cable TV. The growth of subscriptions for video streaming has accelerated from 10% of US consumers in 2009 to 49% in 2016. And that number is probably higher today. And with that popularity, some of the big streaming services, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, have put out award-winning original content. So with a viewership that continues growing, this might be one of the first places to stop to get screenwriting work. And that's my dog chewing on a toy, and I'm leaving that in the project. And the cat just jumped up on the thing. I'm also leaving that in the project. I don't care. And if you want to submit your writing to these streaming venues, here's some things to take note of. Just to go through Netflix, this is who should, sell here. It's anyone looking for the biggest potential audience. It has 125 million subscribers in over 190 countries and offers a wide range of content, not just TV and films. How Netflix chooses is boldly. They bid for entire series, they don't do pilots, and originally it was based off algorithms. Shows like House of Cards, which is in perfect standing right now, was based off an algorithm that said that viewers would be interested in the show. Possible downside is high expectations for the show. Because Netflix has so many big monster hits, what you create might not jump over the already high up bar that's been set by previous big titles for Netflix. Let's say you want to submit something for Hulu. People who should sell here, anyone right now, because The Handmaid's Tale is Hulu's first critically awarded show, and it's brought a 40% increase in subscribers from 2016. It uses similarly to Netflix with data mining, but they also look for passion in their people they work with, and that's important. Possible downside is that your content is interrupted with commercials. Now, you may have an opinion about how you feel about commercials, but there is a plus side that Hulu does advertise its other films and TV shows in those ads, so you have a chance to have your work discovered through Hulu. And this last square is just to make it an even four. There's no reason for it, just to make it an even four. Let's say you're interested in going through Amazon. Writers who should sell here are writers who don't always want to make mass appeal projects. Amazon is kind of getting that reputation that they're not always looking for the big blockbuster hit. How it chooses is Amazon does a very public but micro pilot test for your show. So they put that show for their viewers, and the viewers rate and decide how they feel about it and whether it stays and whether it goes for a majority of its staying power. Possible downside with Netflix is that it's a bundle service. It's not a true dedicated streaming outlet like Netflix and Hulu are. So that's not necessarily saying anything negative towards it, but more to the fact that it might not be around in the future because of its bundled to Amazon's main shopping site.
And everywhere I go, there's always something to remind me of another place. amazing time. Well, love that traveled far and found me. You stayed out.
I am Buzz Lightyear. I come in peace.
Hi, Mr. Frederickson. It's me, Russell.
What are you doing out here, kid?
Man, you should have seen them. They totally hate me. How's Shifu ever gonna turn me into the Dragon Warrior? My invention could save the whole town.
You don't have to protect me. I'm not afraid.
Here is some money. Go buy some useless mall junk.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, we are gonna knock them dead!
So I have to shout out to the YouTube user Game Oasis for that animation montage. I was planning on making one, but I found that and I realized I'm not going to make anything close to that good a week before finals, so I'm very happy to have found that. But there's also a reason for me showing that montage is that I wanted to introduce my next topic, which is screenwriting for animation. What does screenwriting in animation mean? Well, you might think of these when the words animation come to mind. And if you do, you might wonder, well, how can I be a part of something like that as terms in writing? So you have a couple of options, and one source says, spec script for an independent studio, and that is a speculative script that you write in advance for no compensation to then later pitch to producers to try to convince them to make your work. And one thing to note is that if you do follow this routine, you should be aware that animated scripts have different conventions compared to film and TV. The one big thing is that visual descriptions of scenes must be multiple times more detailed. And this is a fundamental shift from animation to film and TV, because in film you have, auteur theory, which is that the director employs their vision and the rest of the staff is kind of working with or under the director. But in animation, it's the writer's job to set the tone of what he sees in their vision. So it's important to get that detail, get that vision in your writing, not only because of the convention for animation, but also for another point that I'm going to bring up later on in the video. When it comes to Disney and Pixar, they have a different way of finding their writers. So they have people actually going through tons of scripts, but they're actually not reading for the material. They're reading for the writer's voice. At Disney or Pixar, the director has an idea for the film, and they're not looking for someone to come and tell them, hey, let's make this movie about, a dog that wants to be a cat. Horrible idea. Actually, there should be like thought bubbles coming out of my head with like a dog cat. So they're looking for the writer's voice. So they might want someone who has a fresh, new kind of tone in their writing. Someone who has, humor that they want for this type of project. So this is where it all boils down to when we started with when screenwriting for animation. Write speculative scripts. Write in your tone. Write progressively, thinking of new or true ways to yourself, because that's what one of the biggest studios is looking for that original voice, and not necessarily has to be an established person. Your script could just pop up in the right place, and the more outlets that you have your work and your voice and your networking, the better it is for animation.